everybody, this is Frilliath and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. Now I'm often asked if my infinite villager breeder will work underground, and the answer is yes, definitely it will, but you need to modify it slightly. And today I'm going to show you in this video how to modify the villager breeder so it works underground. I'm not going to show you how to build all of it because it's very, very similar to the one that you build above ground, and I'll put a link to that in the description. In this video, I'm just going to show you how to modify it and just a few do's and don'ts that you need to do to make it work underground. So firstly, before you start building it, you need to choose your location quite carefully. And there are a couple of prerequisites before you even start building it. So let's just pop up to the surface. So there are a couple of things. Firstly, you can't build this underwater. I lied, you can build this underwater, but you need to put a column of glass from here, the seabed as an example, all the way up to the surface of the water. So you need a solid column of glass from water level all the way down to sea level if you want this to work underwater, because as far as Minecraft is concerned, water acts like a solid block when it comes to villagers. So if you want to build this underwater, you need to put a column of glass all the way up to sea level. Secondly, you need to make sure, if you're building this just underground and not below sea level, you need to make sure that there are no solid blocks from here all the way up to sky. Okay, you can't have any overhangs or any buildings above it, anything above it. This needs to be clear all the way up to sky. Okay, you can have glass because glass is classed as an opaque block, a see-through block. So you can have glass, but you can't have a solid block. So once you've made sure that there's nothing between the sky and your breeder, your village, and that includes water down here. If you dug through a cave and there's water, you need to clear the water out. You can't have any water between here and sky. As I say, it acts as a solid block, so you can't have any solid blocks. And I've banged on about this far too much, but it is very important. From the center of the village, the center of the doors, all the way up to sky needs to be completely clear. Now, above ground, to make this to validate the doors, we're using this lever which pushes that block up there, which validates those doors. Underground, we need to change this. Okay, so you need to pop out, or if you're building it underground, don't bother building the piston with the lever. That needs to be moved to a different position. So to use the switch to make this into a switchable breeder, you need to move the piston from down there to here. You need to put a piston there, and you need to put a solid block on the face of the piston so it's like that. And then you need to put a lever here, which will activate the piston. Now what that's doing is covering the hole. It's doing exactly what I told you not to do above ground, because it's now invalidated those doors. By having a block there, it invalidates the doors. So by flicking the lever now, you're validating the doors because there's sky access directly above the middle. You can't have the sky access above one of the doors because it won't work. You need sky access above the very center of the doors. So I can just demonstrate this by pressing on my F3 screen. I've got a little mod that shows me whether a village is valid or not. And at the moment, if you look at the top left-hand side of the screen, at the very bottom of the text that's up there, it says that there are no nearby villages found. That's because at the moment, this is not a valid village. And that block there on the piston is causing that. If we flick the lever, give it a second to update. And now if you look top left, it says that we are currently inside a village. And this village has one villager, that one there, but it can support the number in brackets. It can support 2 villagers. It doesn't recognise those 2 guys down there, and that's why this is a that's why this is a breeder. This is a villager breeder, because the village can support 2 villagers. As far as the village is concerned, there is only 1 villager in it, and that's why those guys will have babies. By flicking this switch again, and this could take it could take a few minutes. It could take you unloading the chunk, but by flicking that switch back over again, it invalidates the village and basically turns it off. So now, once you've done that, if we feed these guys, and after a few minutes or so, they'll make a little baby. A little farmer. Isn't that cute? And then you just need to get him into a mine cart and get him out of there. So just to recap then, to get this to work underground, you firstly need to dig a hole directly from the centre of your village up to sky with nothing in the way, no solid blocks, no water, from that block there all the way up to, let's get in there, from this block here, from the centre of your village all the way up to sky, needs to be completely clear of solid blocks. You can have glass, but you can't have solid blocks or water. Then if you want to make it switchable, you need to remove the piston that was here, and you need to relocate it up to there, so it forces a block over the hole, and that will turn the breeder off. Now, as I say, this won't turn it off like a tap. It won't turn it off straight away. It could take a few minutes to turn off. It could take you unloading the chunk. You might even have to leave the chunk and then come back in again for that to turn itself off, just because of how Minecraft recognizes villagers. But it will turn your villager off. So that will give you an infinite villager breeder underground. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, everybody. If you have, please don't forget to leave it a like. If you've really loved it, don't forget to subscribe for future tutorials. This is Fully Off, and I'm out of here.